What's up? What's up? What's up, everyone? This is JC, and welcome to the Wealth Engineering Podcast. I create content to help you retire early, increase your net worth, and build generational wealth. We do that through stocks, crypto, real estate, and business. If you're starting your financial journey or you're about to start, you are at the right place. You have found the right place. Let's take our path to the financial journey together. So I want you to hit the like, subscribe, and click the bell. With that said, you saw the title, you see, you hear the concepts. We're gonna be talking about all that today. But first, I want to give a shout out to my new subscribers. I noticed that we have got a couple of new subscribers. Our goal is 1K subscribers before the end of the year. So make sure you subscribe if you're watching this. And yes, I'll shout out to everyone who's early in the chat. So we'll be this is a pre-recorded because I also have someone in the panel that I can only meet earlier today. So I pre-recorded this, but I will be watching it live with you as well as it's being premiered. So I'll be in the chat with you as well. And I want to hear you in the comment section as well. I'll be very active there. So guys, we talk a lot about crypto. I have been telling you guys I am deep in crypto. As of earlier this year, I was 100% invested in crypto, but now I guess I am 99.6% invested in crypto as I'm starting to divert in other areas, but crypto is mainly a huge part in my portfolio. And there is different types of cryptos you can invest in, many segments. You can invest in what we call the blue chip cryptos, kind of like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Ripple, XRP, and so on. But these are not the ones that is going to give you the massive gains. It's all about them gains, you know? Like you hear about Shiba blowing up, you hear about SafeMoon, and we'll be talking about all that today. But today, the topic I really wanted to focus on is high risk, high reward. We want to understand the risk and we want to understand the rewards, but more importantly, how to navigate with the crypto markets so that we can limit the risk and still collect massive rewards, right? And there is also a segment that I wanted to focus on. It's more like the gaming aspect and the metaverse aspect of the cryptocurrencies. So with that, and that's where also I'm going to bring someone on the panel. It's a upcoming YouTuber, Soul Shitter Cryptos, and I wanted to invite him on the panel to so that we can discuss this topic together with you guys and bring some more insight with it. So, without further ado, let me introduce to you Soul Shitter Crypto. How are you doing today?
What's up, Wealth Engineering? It's been good, man. Just
Thank
been
you.
grinding, getting in with these cryptos, man. It's been crazy.
That's it. That's it. So he also has a YouTube channel, and I'll add a link in the description so guys, you guys can see it as well. If you are curious and then you wanted to see it as well, let me show you because this guy is starting his YouTube channel. Show him some support and some love. Let me make sure I have all this ready because there's other things I want to show you. There you go. See Crypto Soul Shader Crypto Life. Make sure you subscribe, and there you go. Now we're gonna be discussing with the topic high risk, high rewards. But before we get into the topic, I was wondering if you want to talk a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself to the audience. What do you do, or who you are, and going from there.
Right. So in real life, my name is Anzel, Anzel. On YouTube, I go by Soul Shader. That's what everybody knows me as. And so I've been here for a long time, man. Like I've been around this space. Like I've been into this ever since growing up. I pretty much grew up
Wow.
off YouTube, man. Like, and I learned a lot of stuff from lots of different content creators, and it kind of helped me navigate through life and learn more about myself and help me to be able to find myself. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of hard for you to be able to, if you don't have the right support system to help you and teach you growing up, you're kind of having to raise yourself. So I was lucky enough to have the internet and YouTube to be able to ask questions and find the answers to the questions I was looking for, like how to survive, how to navigate through life, how to become a productive adult. You know what I mean? Because no one really is able to teach you how to do these things. So you're having to try to find the blueprint. So I was
Mhm.
able to kind of find a way how to do it, and so now I've been able to go on this journey to get there, meeting the right people. Like there's lots
Great,
of different.
awesome, awesome. And I like what you're hearing, man. Like, be learning a lot through YouTube, and I can relate a lot with what you're saying. But before we get there, I wanted to ask, if you don't mind me asking, how old would you say you are?
I'm 22 now, 22 years
Awesome.
old.
Young man. And guys, that's one of the reason also I wanted to bring him to the panel. Like, the earlier you start in your investment, the better it is. I brought to you guys on the other podcast Jay Edmo, the founder of the Black Traders Club. He started in his 20s as well, and now he's almost ready to retirement. He's going to retire next year. He might even do it like this December if his Shiba is blowing up fast enough. But next year
Hmm.
definitely he's going to retire, and it's because he started in his 20s. Me, honestly, I'm very happy for you, but there is a part, and I'll be honest, man, there is a part deep down inside me that envy you a little bit. I'm jealous a little bit because I wish I was doing exactly what you're doing right now in my 20s.
Mm.
Back in the days with no information, no lack, no financial education. So I was blowing up money. I was buying cars, and then I was going to school as well, but definitely not investing. And I could have go to school and invest and get value in education in both ways, as opposed to just the academic system. So all that to say, I really appreciate what you're doing, and I wanted to bring you on the panel so that I can inspire other people that may be in their 20s too, thinking about trying different things, and see and take inspiration from you. So thank you again
Right.
for joining on the panel.
No problem. No problem.
So I wanted to learn a little bit more about you. So you said you're 22 years old. So bring me back into like maybe your high school days. Like, let's say you were in high school. What kind of guy were you in high school?
Shoot, I was usually like that. I was more of the introvert type of guy. I was very picky with who I wanted to hang around. I was the type of who was always changing my group of friends every year, and then
Hmm.
eventually I just stayed to myself because everybody was kind of more focused on what was in pop culture. No one was really focused on what was going on in society. You know what I mean? Like how what's going on like in politics, the economy, where you're gonna be able to get a job, how you gonna be able to make money, take care of yourself. Like I was more focused on that type of stuff, like
That's
what the
great.
future was.
That's very good to hear, man. And actually,
Hmm.
my next question was, around that time, how were you thinking about money before and after you were doing your research around that time?
Honestly, at that time, I really didn't have a really good understanding of money because, like, kind of like in school growing up, they kind of just say the all traditional stuff, just go to college, just get a job, but they don't really tell you like how complicated it can be to get a job and what type of degrees and what type of education is actually important and what is not important to an employer. They don't really tell you that in depth. So it's like they just tell you get a job and like you don't know, you think it's gonna be really easy, but it's not easy. They say it like it is easy though. So it confuses you and you get lost.
Absolutely, absolutely. I agree with you. And so now you're 22. So can you tell me a little bit about what you're currently doing now?
Yeah, so now I'm on my way into the military so I can be able to get my income up so I can have more money to invest in the crypto because
Hmm.
I've been doing good pretty so far with what I've been able to do, but I'm trying to take it to the next level because there's like crypto is growing really rapidly. Like as we get closer to 2022, I can see it's picking up really, really fast. I'm pretty sure you heard about how Mark Zuckerberg, he now Meta, how he's changing the name for Facebook. So like
Don't
time is
worry, we're
running
gonna talk
out.
about that. Don't worry,
Hmm.
you gotta leave it for them, but we're gonna talk about that. Yeah,
Okay.
gaming and metaverse is definitely one of the reasons why I brought you here as well. Because are you a gamer actually?
Yeah. I like to play video games, man. Like, I've been trying to take a break for a little bit so I can have more time to look about like finances and crypto and credit and stuff like that. So I've been taking a break for about ever since probably like March, February. That's when I took a break from it and just started to learn more about crypto and how to make money in the stock market and stuff like that.
Yeah, you know how I feel these days. Back in the day, maybe you're too young to remember that, but there was a time. There was a time, all right. The internet was just coming out, all right,
Mm,
and then you had people in their 30s and 40s. They find it very hard to understand the internet. Actually, most of them didn't
mm-hmm,
even know how to type, right?
mm,
And then you had people like me who were in the teenagers, and we were like all in the internet. We knew everything about the internet. Like, I grew up in Haiti, so in the Caribbean,
mm.
and I even had found ways to access the internet, but taking
Wow.
like the dial-up codes from the
Really?
government, putting it into my house, and then like it
Wow.
works. Man, I was hustling, man. But the
Dang.
point, the reason why I'm saying that is, and it's any countries, right? You had the
Hmm.
teenagers always, they were always staying connected with technology,
Hmm.
and then the people that were older, if they don't do any effort to adapt themselves, then they're basically, it's kind of like not knowing how to read in the new world.
Yeah,
And now the
yeah.
new world is happening so fast, and I
Very
feel the
fast.
same way now. I feel like if I don't catch up with what's happening in the gaming world and on the metaverse, basically I'm going to be left out. So that's one of the reasons why I wanted to bring you to, because as a young guy, you probably have an insight from the gaming world that I don't have, because I haven't been playing games in the last maybe 10 years. I think the last game I played was San Andreas and
Mm.
and GD5. Yeah, that was the last game I played. But now since then, there's been a lot of development, evolution. There is you have the crowd of online gaming, Leagues of Legends, all that. I don't
Hmm.
know anything about that, but as a gamer, I'm sure you probably heard a lot about that. But so from an investor in crypto and from a gamer, that's one of the things I wanted to bring you to the podcast. And again, guys, we'll be getting into that. We'll be getting. I just want to know a little bit more about you. So yes, I understand where you were as a teenager, where you are right now, and basically what you're doing. If I want to be more clear, what are you doing right now to engineering your wealth?
Well, first I'm trying to I want to use the military really as a roadmap to be able to do all this stuff, to use the stock market, to utilize the crypto market as best as I can, and have some type of entrepreneurship involved into that, and try to fuse it all together to be able to achieve that, generational wealth that's actually going to be able to last. And it's not like and you don't have to worry about inflation, because you see how inflation is eating up the dollar, and our buying power is getting weaker and weaker every year. So it's like that's why Bitcoin is going to be very vital to help us maintain our wealth.
Man, I like to hear you talk, man. At 22, if I was talking like that, I would be a millionaire by the time I'm 30, guys. Like, it's not even a joke. And it's funny because when I actually figure out how the game works and how to build wealth, I was trying different things at the age of 30, 31. I'm 35 now. But I really figured it out by the time I was 32, 32, and 33, basically. That's basically
Mm.
the time I really like had a lock into it and start doing the work since. But man, I figured like if I knew what I knew at 32, if I put it on my body at 25, and I actually know exactly which stock I would have invested in, I calculated my portfolio would have been $1 million by the time I'm 30 years old. So I'm
Dang.
just saying that to you as a way to motivate you as well. Keep going what you're doing. It doesn't matter what you do. I literally have a course, and on my course, I show an example of how someone can take a minimum, like a job at McDonald's, and be retired in 10 years or less. I showed them
Mm.
exactly on how to do it. And just one course or one video, and just to show you the power that it's not necessarily how you make the income, it's how much you keep and how much you multiply from the money that you keep.
Exactly.
and and
Hmm.
and I definitely want to encourage you to that. I understand when you are, when you're going, but that mindset you have at 22, I'm telling you, this is your biggest asset, and keep nourishing, keep developing that, and push forward. And one of a light question I had for you, I was going to your YouTube channel, man, and I noticed you like Naruto. And in one of your
Uh-huh.
videos, saying
Yep.
that, what do you like? You said that you learned something about Naruto. I was wondering if you wanted to share with the
No
audience
problem.
what
No
was the
problem.
lesson you learned from Naruto.
So like how in Naruto, that's like one of those that's one of those shows, those animes where they teach you a lot about how important it is to train, how important training is, and constantly trying to improve yourself. And when you are facing very challenging obstacles, how you gotta hang in there. You gotta try to push through it no matter what, and just do not quit. No matter what, just don't quit. Even if you get your face pounded in, just do not
Yeah.
quit. Just stay in there, because it might be able to turn around. You might find a weakness or an opening that you can bust into and be able to win and turn it all around.
Absolutely, I agree with you, man. Like Naruto is definitely the best anime manga I've ever read and watched in my entire life. I'm actually going to use it as teaching thing for my kid. I have a newborn. He's like 11 months old,
Oh
and
man,
then
congratulations.
thank you. And then yeah, man, like as soon as he can start speaking, walking. I mean, he just starts walking, but he can't speak yet. But as soon as he starts speaking, man, I'm putting him on Naruto. I'm buying
Yes.
an account on Crunchyroll, I think, and then just let Naruto play all day long, man. Yo, I wanted
Yeah.
to name him Jiraiya, just to let you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So my wife didn't want me to, but my second one, don't worry, Jiraiya, bro. Anyway, I'm a huge fan of Naruto, and I actually value what you're saying. There's a lot you can learn from that, but you're absolutely right. And guys, it's all about that. It's not. It's at the end of the day, it doesn't even matter what you guys decide to invest on. It could be in crypto. If you do it, you could get there way faster than if you're doing in traditional stocks. You could do it in stocks. You could do it in real estate. You could do it in a business. You could even do it just with a job and saving your money. It just will take you longer. But whatever method, whatever route you choose to start your financial journey to financial independence, whatever it is, just stick to that road, guys. Stick to the road. The road is painful. There is a lot you can learn, and sometimes you have to learn to trial and tribulations, that could put you down. But just stick with it, and that's one of the reason why I make this channel. It's really to build that community, to motivate ourselves to continue on that path, that journey to financial independence, so that we can continue together. We can get to the finish line together. And as he was saying in Naruto, that is the perfect visual for relentless. This guy is relentless. He was an underdog. There is no way you would put him as the president of the country, but he worked so hard, and he beat all the odds, and he actually made his dream happen. So it's a beautiful story, lots to learn from it, and I'm happy you took inspiration from that. Now, with that said, let's get onto the topic. Let's get into the crypto. So I wanted to ask you, and you actually alluded that earlier, but I wanted you, if you can go a little bit in more details. So how did you get into crypto, and what was interesting in cryptos that caught your attention? Like basically, why you started investing in crypto?
So I started investing actually this February of this year. Real honestly. Like that's when
Wow.
I first got exposed to it through a friend. Because like he started talking about you probably don't know him, but he's known as Valdez, the Angry Man. And so like we have our own like little community over there, and we'll be talking about how to make money, how to improve your life and stuff, and what you got to watch out for. So we talk about all that stuff, and then we eventually he discovered the ledger, and that's when he started discovered that this crypto thing was real. It wasn't a scam, because before we started to think it was a scam or it wasn't real. I was on the fence with it. Like I kind of believed that it was real, but I could have been wrong. You know, I was young. I didn't want to make a mistake. So you kind of trying to want to stay safe. You don't want to get scammed or whatever, but it was real. And so
Let,
that's when we
let me put it this way, man. Um, at around your age, and actually a little bit for me, I think by the time I'll have to stop is when I reach 40. So I still have a little leeway, but around your age, you can go at it. And it goes for the same for anyone in watching that is around the 20s, right? If you're in your 20s, this is the time to go risky.
mm-hmm.
This is the time
Yep.
you can afford to go risky. Let me give you an example. Let's say you took a risk and your risk didn't pan out, you lose your money. You
Right.
have basically it will hurt. I get it. It will hurt. I went there. But you can catch up and still be in time to retire before you're 65. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
your learning process in that failure will accelerate you and bring it back faster. You see what I'm saying? Your
Exactly.
learning
Yep.
process what you're going to learn through that failure will actually make the road faster for you going forward. You just make sure you keep going and don't stop. Where most
Mm-hmm.
people make the mistakes is after the failure, they just paint everything into the same brush and then they stop going forward and they don't get anywhere else. So that's the mistakes if you do. If you keep moving, you're good. So in your 20s, definitely take the risk. And I'm happy you end up actually working and investing in cryptos. And it turns out you're doing a lot of investment in risky and risky cryptos. So
Mm-hmm.
that is good. And let me ask you this. Let's have you ever invested in a crypto that was like a rug pull, for example?
Like a meme coin,
No,
or
like
like
something like it was legit scam in crypto. I don't know if that happens to you yet.
um no, I don't think so. No, I haven't.
Good,
Not a scam yet. I
good.
did almost get scammed, but not investing into a crypto, but going on an exchange, and I kind of like, but this was before I got into crypto. Actually, like someone said I had one Bitcoin, and that's when I was like, I won something. So I go on the site, the exchange, and then I'm like, wait a second, let me see if this exchange is real. And I go do some research on it, see if it exists, and it didn't. So that's when I instantly knew that was fake, and I got off of
Mm.
there without getting without losing any of my important information.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's good. That's good. Let me ask you one more question. In your opinion, in general, so we're talking about just crypto in general. In your opinion, why do you think cryptos are so risky?
Because because first of all, because we're still super early. I think that's first of all. So I don't think there's enough people in the market yet. But I think as time goes on, it will get more stable as more
Mm.
people start to believe in it, because there's still not enough people believing in it. People they scared to lose their money. They're hearing lots of different things from different people saying that's bad, or saying that you're gonna lose all your money. And it's just like the US dollar. Like when you believe in it, that's what gives it its power. So like the reason why the US dollar is so powerful is because people believe in it. They think it's gonna work. They think it's gonna last, and it's always gonna win. It's gonna be the same thing with crypto. So once it gets to that point, then it's gonna get more stable.
Absolutely. I love your answer. And man, I can tell you have done your research. You understand the power of currency. You understand the true value of a currency, where it comes in. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you. I really I'm seriously, like I'm listening to you. I'm like, man, this guy has done his research. No, for sure, for sure. There is so many people you speak with that are in their 30s, 40s, who do not understand currencies the way you just
Right.
described it. I will make a separate podcast on currencies and understanding basically how it can gain and lose its power. And you will understand why there is no such thing as saving money. You either
Mm-hmm.
invest it and multiply it, or you lose it. So we'll be talking about that. But I'm happy for you to so that you understand this. And yeah, I'm happy you haven't really got scammed yet, man. That's good. I'll share some stories, man. But before I share some stories, a rug pull is basically a cryptocurrency, or it could be anything, right? There used to be rug pulls and SPACs in the stock market. It's basically a
Mm.
project that sounds nice. Everyone, there's a lot of marketing into it. The people, everyone is jumping on it, and then when there is starting to be some momentum, or the curve starts to go up, and right at the top there, whoever is building that scam disappears.
Mm-hmm.
They may be going in the Cayman Island. They may be hiding somewhere, changing
Yep.
your names, everything. And actually, let me give you an example. I have one right here. This happens to me this summer right here. This
Mm.
summer, this happened to me. Let me show you my screen. You can see what I'm saying. There you go. This crypto right here, a lava
Whew.
farm. I can't believe the website is still operational, but
Wow.
this crypto, man, it was all the way in the thousands of dollars, going up, 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 and in one day, it went from 1,000 all the way down to zero. Flow.
Dang.
So what they do here is they do staking. So and I will make a Sunday. Tune into that podcast. I will make a special um, um, podcast about staking, what it is, the best staking platform that I'm using right now to make lots of money. And then yeah, so they offer staking, and then they offer what is called yield farming. So yield farming is the next level of staking, and again, we'll be talking about that in a different podcast. So now you're seeing the APR, right? You see 13%, 16%. You see this APR that is 93%. But I can, from what I'm telling you, that when they were doing that scam, the APR were like 400, 4,000s. Some of them were
Wow.
15,000s. They had massive APR, and APR is basically means, guys, you put your money in there, and then your money gets give you some interest, and then and
Right.
that's the percentage of interest you get. So APR is annual rate, and then APY would be the yield, average annual yield or something. So That's what it is. And yes, guys, some of them are still high. So 158. This is still high for yield farming, but yeah, they do the same thing for staking. They do the same thing for yield farming. But man, back in the days, this used to be like 20,000 APR. You would put your money there, and then you would see it go up, and you're like, oh my god, I need to put more money into it. And the next thing you know, man, once that countdown went to zero, it was a 1 week. They had a 1 week countdown, and once it went to zero, all the money went out.
Dang.
And it just disappeared, man. There was another project I did, Poker Stars or something like that. It's same thing. They give you a high APR, and then they disappear. We even had a rug pool, and when I live in Montreal, we even had a rug pool where someone in our city created crypto, and yeah, they just everyone's money disappeared. Yeah,
Dang.
there's a lot of things that can happen, man. So again, high rewards, but also high risk. And I wanted to present you guys because, of course, you're going to hear on all the time, crypto is the next big thing, and it is, guys. But you need to know what you be doing, and of course, the learning curve can be steep. You have to trial and error. You can learn from mentor, but eventually, guys, you need to understand what you're doing. And I'm happy that you started. You basically taught yourself through YouTube how to invest in all that, and you haven't got into a scam yet, so that's good. And yeah, I hope it stays that way. But yeah, guys, it can be risky. It can be risky, and that's why you need to have a plan. You need to be doing what you're doing. Despite all that, guys, I am 100%, 99.6% in crypto. So it's because I know what I'm doing. I take measures to be safe. And again, it's all to say, guys, the way you navigate the crypto market is you do your research, you do your due diligence, you find a mentor if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what to look for. Find someone that can teach you, and then basically, guys, do your research and invest moderately. Invest what you're willing to lose, and go from there. And if you know what you're doing, most of the times it will be gain. But me, I
Right.
was just too greedy. But again, I lost the money. It wasn't even that much. It was just really a small portion of my portfolio that I was willing to dabble into risky bets and see how it goes. And also learning about yield farming as well. I was learning around that time about yield farming, and then yes, so I tried it. But now, just to give you an idea, 2 weeks ago I paid for $8.5 course to teach me how to do yield farming properly. So this is
Wow.
the most expensive, actually the second most expensive course I've ever paid in my financial journey, so I can learn from mentors, learn and also access exclusive networks, people that are literally creating their own cryptos that are worth hundred of millions of dollars, and learn from them. So yeah,
Wow.
man, that's what it takes sometimes if you really want to be good at
Hmm.
something. But again, you don't have to go all there. You can basically learn on your own, start and build that money, and then eventually go from there. But all that to say, guys, yes, crypto can be really risky. And actually, the latest scam that most people got into was the squid.
Oh yeah.
Have you
Oh
heard about
man.
that one?
Yeah. Oh, they did it based off the movie Squid Games.
Yeah, actually, I think it
Man.
was. I'm not sure if it was a movie or if it was a Netflix show. There is
Right.
a Netflix show also called Squid Game, but it's a big deal, guys. Apparently, a lot of people invested in Squid, and then
Hmm.
let me show you guys. Actually, let me show you. You can go on Coin Market Cap, and then see the graph. It's ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous, and that's how they pull you in. They show you massive
Yeah.
gains. You don't know who's behind it. It could be someone like it could be someone that has a lot of money pumping it,
Hmm.
and whenever people see that it's being pumped, they buy in, and then they start promoting it on social media. Social media now it helps fuel these scams, and the next thing you know, it disappears. So yeah, let me
I
show you guys.
I
Squid
had heard
Game.
that a person put his whole life savings on Squid
Oh no.
Games and he lost it all. I was like, oh man, it's like $28,000.
Oh no, $28,000, man.
Hmm.
So yeah, man, look at this, man. You're buying it at 1 cent. All of a sudden, it went like super high. We were like 15 cents, and then next thing you know, it's disappearing all the time. And yeah, man, it's look at that. Look at that spike. It went all the way
Oh
to
man.
$500, and then they basically took it at the top right here. That's when the scammers are like, okay, we have enough money. But imagine it was like in a 1 cent. You were in this in 1 cent, and all of a sudden it went $500.
Right.
This is definitely a sharp decline. Again, that's the exact same thing that happened with lava cake, the one I showed you earlier. A sharp decline in 1 day. Whew. Everyone just
Dang.
took all the money that was in the liquidity. When they say that the total value of the liquidity is locked, well, sometimes they can unlock it. They have ways to unlock it. And I mean, when it's a scam, right? When it's a scam,
Hmm.
they do it. If it's a real crypto, they won't be able to do it because it's secure. But
Right.
yes, again, guys, watch out yourself from this. And if you're investing in something risky, go with a small amount. Invest only what you're willing to lose, because
Hmm.
you never know. You might end up with something like a Shiba, for example, and you get a early input into it, and then it could blow up to something like this. So definitely something to keep in mind. Squid is something that went on the news. Even any
Oh yeah.
NBC News are talking about it. And a lot of investors suffer from this. It's just one of the latest scams out there. So again, all that to say, guys, yes, there is lots of gains to do. Cryptos can be risky, guys. Cryptos can be risky, but whenever it's risky, but something like this, something like Squid, it hurts the entire crypto industry, right? It paints a bad
Yeah.
picture. Like you mentioned it yourself, you already had some perception about crypto. At your first perception was it was a scam. It was something that you weren't sure about, but once you start learning
Hmm.
into it, then you realize it's something serious. So it's something like this, especially when it goes on the news like that, is going to give more people that roadblock that
Hmm.
you had that didn't let you invest in it earlier. So, but
Right.
I can guarantee you guys there are some great cryptos out there, especially safe projects, real companies that are building real projects like Theta. I know you're a big fan of Theta. We have
Hmm.
VRA, we have Cardano,
Yep.
Solana. These they have lots of billions invested in these companies, and these are real companies. And again, tune into Sunday's podcast. We're going to talk about that. But as you can see, guys, cryptos can be very risky, but also very rewarding. Very
Hmm.
rewarding. And let me give you some example. The bull run started with a massive success story, and it's Safe Moon. Have you heard about Safe Moon, Soul Shader?
Yeah, yeah. I've heard a little bit about Safe Moon. I still have to get more into it. I heard that they're doing something in Africa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they also released their wallet recently, but earlier, man, that's how the bull run started, man. February,
Mm.
the end of February, beginning of March, they released their new coin. The bull run was starting, and all of a sudden, that coin went like I think I at some point it went. I made a 20x on it,
Wow,
27x of that
that's
money.
great.
Moon. And then yeah, man, it this crypto was even shown on the stock market, like not stock market, but you know when you go on Wall Street and then you have that
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It shows the ticker symbol.
yeah. It was even shown there. So people were really funding SafeMoon, and yeah, somehow it really pumped the market. Everyone was excited about it. Lots of people made some money about it, and then that created a trend. Actually, that's what I'm talking about. Let me share my screen with you guys. There you go, right there. This is a real picture, guys. SafeMoon.
Wow, that's so cool.
The world fastest growing cryptocurrencies. And at the time they made that ad, it was actually the world's fastest growing community. They had a strong community. And the community
Wow.
is definitely the value when it comes to crypto, because if the
Hmm.
community is
Very
strong,
important.
they'll always support the creators, and then they'll always invest in it. They'll keep the market stable or going up if they buy the dip whenever the
Right.
community is strong. So, guys, that is one thing you can look for if you're trying to see and do your due diligence on a crypto. Look for the community, how much they have, how many people they have in their community, how active it is, and you can find that on Twitter, you can find that on their Telegram, and so on,
Right.
guys. So yes, that's how this the bull run really started, with Safe Moon blowing up, going to the moon. Everyone was going on board. I made 27x. I know some people who 100x their money, and
Wow.
and then man, it was crazy, man. I waited one day before I invested in it. My brother
Really?
a day before, and he made a 54.
Wow.
So he made
54x.
it twice
Dang.
the amount I did, because by the time I invested in it, it had already gone another 100%. And so,
Right.
oh man, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. But all that to say, man, cryptos can be very rewarding, and they seems to be serious. I've been watching
Mm-hmm.
them from the beginning. Although it's risky in projects, it's still risky, but the team seems serious. They're very transparent. They always go and do AMAs. You can listen to their AMAs, ask them questions. That's one of the things you do, and to filter the good versus the bad ones. When you have the bad ones, they never go public. They never go
Right.
public. You don't see their
Right.
faces. So yeah, that's one way you can know. But yeah, I wanted to show you some example as well. And I'm sure you see Dogecoin, the success
Oh
of Dogecoin.
yeah.
How,
Yeah.
what's your thought on that one?
Now, when I first saw Dogecoin, I wasn't sure about Dogecoin because a lot of people were saying bad stuff about it, but now it's like seeing how it's about the community. That's what's gonna really be the success of the cryptos, or if they flop or if they are successful. You got to have a strong community. You got to have good developers that are willing to keep getting feedback from the community on how they can improve it and make it better. And that's what's gonna make it ultimately get to the next level.
Absolutely, absolutely, definitely. The community is one way you can track. Me too. Me too. Me, I actually swore last year that I would never invested. And as a value investor, I like value. I like cash flow. I like to have a coin or crypto or stocks or anything that can gain value over time, and then also pay me right now. And that's my
Right,
secret to retirement. I want to get paid right now, and that payment should add up to at least 4,000 US a month. And then
right.
once I get there, then technically I could retire. But that's basically what I want. So when I look at Doge, meme coin, Dogecoin, it was made as a joke. There's no
Mhm.
more development that happened since then. I'm like, what is this? I'm not going to invest in it. Everyone was talking about it. I was not touching it. But turns out it blew up. It blew up like crazy. And I made a video
Mhm.
on how I lost the opportunity to make 400,000 this year on a
Dang.
cryptocurrencies. And then the mistake I made is I didn't actually pay attention and took seriously the trend that was happening and that Doge started. So if
Right,
you haven't checked that video yet, guys, make sure you check it out. How I lost 400,000. I mean, I didn't lose 400,000. I lost the opportunity to
right.
make 400,000. But there is a lesson behind that. There is a lesson you
Mhm.
could learn, and to follow trends, guys. Follow trend, and that's one of the reason. Well, we'll be talking about gaming. We'll be talking about the metaverse today as well. But again, while we're talking about, you mentioned it yourself, community. Community is definitely something you can look into. Shiba is definitely a coin that you should be looking into. Why?
Yes.
Because although it is a meme coin, it was created as a meme to beat the meme. But
Mhm.
the difference is they have a strong community right from the start. They also have current developers that are staying in there. They're still working in the platform. And one of the things that you can see, you can notice, is not what they say, is what they are doing. What they
Right.
are doing. I've been following Shiba honestly since April. I
Mm.
was very early in Shiba, and that's one of the things. It took me 3 weeks to decide to invest in Shiba, and that 3 weeks alone cost me 400,000.
Dang.
My brother did not wait 2 weeks, and let me tell you, whoo, yeah, I know what I'm saying. Like it's a great portfolio. Like this guy is set up, and next year I don't think he
Dang.
needs to work. But man, she 2 weeks, and that 3 week alone was the difference. But was it? Why did I change my mind on Shiba and not Doge? I still haven't bought one Doge, but I bought a lot of Shiba. And even though after that first initial spike, and then it went down, I load up on more Doge, sorry, more Shiba, because I knew that it would blow up again, and I think it's gonna blow up even more. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll show you a curve. But the main difference, there's two things that made me change my mind. Actually, three. First, the developers, how active they were in the community. So the community was strong, and the developers were very active, and they were very motivated. They were one of the very few meme coins that I've saw where the developer was that, like, in the minds of the developer, it's not a meme coin. It's serious. And the way
Right.
they speak, the way they were talking about it, you could tell. So that's how I knew that, okay, this is something I should put my hands on. But then the Dogecoin started a trend. It started a trend of meme coin. Now it was cool to invest in meme coin, and then
Mm-hmm.
everyone was trying to find the next meme that will blow up their 1 cent into like $1 or something. So,
Mm-hmm.
and they looked at Shiba as a meme. So they're like, okay, that's probably going to be the next Dogecoin, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
how it started. And yeah, guys, basically, in I would say follow the trend. The trend is your friend. So one of the trend you can one way to follow the trend is you can look at the big dog in a sector. You
Right.
look at the big dog, and then you look at all the other dogs that will follow that big dog. And then if the big
Mm-hmm.
dog is doing well, all the other small dogs will do well as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that is one thing that I do in crypto that have served me and made me a lot of money in crypto, because I understand the power of trend. All right.
Right.
So again, just to show you quickly, and I'll let you chime on it as well. But let me just quickly show you this. That initial spike right there, right? You see that spike?
Right.
That graph doesn't show you everything, but I can pull up the earlier one. Before it was super low. Actually, I'll find it. I'll find it for you guys, because you guys need to see this. Maybe Binance will have it, or I think there you go. Let me see. No, no one has it. But guys, seriously, man, when you look at the whole history of Shiba, it was very low in the beginning. No one was buying
Yeah.
it. No one was buying it. And all of a sudden there was a giant spark. And if you time the spark, the first spark that happened with Shiba with what was happening with Doge, then you would see a correlation that, okay, right after Doge, people were looking for something and they put their money on Shiba. And if you can understand this trend and apply it in the gaming sector, for example, or you
Right.
apply it in the metaverse sector, I'm sure you will be able to make lots of returns. And we have seen this with the announcement of Facebook. So, any thoughts on Shiba, social crypto?
Yeah, Shiba, I think Shiba is going to be doing very well. I think it still has a lot more uphill to go. Once it gets past once the big dogs get out, get their gains, then more little guys can get in, start buying up, and then have it go back up again where it was at, and then some. And there's also another meme coin that I see on the rise that I got word about called Hamster Coin. So I think that's the next meme coin that's gonna probably be next. Because Elon Musk, he talked about Hamster Coin. He said Hamster got mad skills. So that's just a tip for guys out there that are looking for the next one because it's still
Yeah,
super
yeah,
low.
yeah. And I'll be asking you for coins to be looking at as well at the end. But man, I'm stuck on. I'm going to be looking to that. Elon Musk, man, this guy, he's playing with people's emotion, man.
Yeah, he is. He
He's
is.
playing with people emotion, man. What a guy. Okay, I found a nice graph I can show you from CoinMarketCap. So look at this, guys. Look at the first pump. So this coin was built since last year, right? 2020. No one was buying it. No one was buying it. Yet they were building their community. Then at first there was a spike, and the spike happened. Wait, when? Yeah, around April. So me, I learned about it before that spike. I learned about it right there
Mm,
around like the end of April. the end of March, beginning of April, and I did not invest in it. And man, that right there is the difference between 40,000 and 400,000. And then
Yeah.
by the time I end up buying it, it was starting to blow up, and I bought it around here, and I load up around here. But man, you could have bought $1 billion of 1 billion Shiba with barely $1,000,
Yep.
barely $1,000. Like I think $1,000 could have bought you like maybe 5 billion Shiba, and by 5 billion Shiba right now, oh man, like I know people who had 10 billion, 10 billion Shiba.
Oh yeah,
And
I know a friend. He has like 500 billion Shiba, and then he said he knew somebody who had like a trillion.
actually, yeah, man. Like I think so. I think I know one person who has I had more than $1 trillion actually. But man, around that time, that's when you buy it, man. But you don't
Mm-hmm.
know, right? Me, I knew we had some intels from it. Shout out to the people in the Discord group. You guys know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I had the intel, but I did not act on it until it went that way, man. But now, man, this is one of my biggest regret because I should have known this. I should have known this. I knew the power of a trend. The only thing that slowed me down was the meme. Was just the meme,
Right.
the whole
Right.
dog aspect. That's the
Mm-hmm.
only thing. So never underestimate a crypto. And that's the reason why I wanted to spend some time and talk to you about that, guys. Is same thing for gaming, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of you might be older, same age as me. Maybe you're younger and you're not into gaming. But guys, don't think of a game as just gaming. Gaming
Right.
is the doorway to the metaverse. It's the
Mm-hmm.
doorway to the metaverse, and the metaverse is the next evolution of the internet. There's so much you can do on the metaverse, but we're going to need the demand, and the demand right now it's coming from the gaming world. The gaming
Right.
world is
Mm-hmm.
a growing industry. If you invest in gaming stocks, you are doing well. If you're investing in gaming cryptos that are secured and safe, you are doing well, and you will be doing well in this decade. Gaming is huge, and do not underestimate gaming, guys. And that's why I wanted to bring that story with Shiba, so that my perceptions cost me $400,000. So, um, what are your thoughts on gaming cryptos, Soul Shader?
That like you said, that's the future, man. Like it's gaming because it's hard. You know how it's hard for people to get people's attention. So since it's hard for people to get people's attention just from like watching TV shows and stuff, the best way to get their attention is through playing a video game. So that's where the attention is going to go towards, because people, they can play video games for hours, and it holds their attention, and they're in the game, they're focused, and they're able to learn a lot of stuff that way. You can learn stuff from playing video games. Some video games help you to think, help teach you how to think, if it's used properly. So that's why I think that's where everything is going to be slowly moving towards the to play to earn. People make
Play,
play games, earn money off of it.
play to earn. Yes, that is a
Mm-hmm.
concept that I noticed that is happening and it's booming, but I honestly don't know about it. So can you talk a little bit more about that? Like, what do you mean by play to earn? How do you earn from playing games?
So like play to earn. Okay, so with crypto games, they have it set up to where they'll have a cryptocurrency, and they'll have items in the game that they transform into NFTs. And so you're able to, it can, if it becomes rare, it becomes valuable, and you're able to sell it at a high price in that
Oh.
cryptocurrency. And then you can sell it to other players. And then now you're able to make a
And I guess
profit
you
off
can
of it.
use it in the game as well.
Yes, yes, and trade it
Oh.
and everything. Or you can grind in the game, collect items that are rare, that are hard to find, sell them on the market.
That actually makes sense. That actually makes a new NFT becomes a utility now, because
Mm-hmm.
now when we're looking at OpenSea, you see a bunch of like
Yeah,
cat
just art.
pictures, and then
Yeah,
they're selling for like so much money, but you can't do much with it other than displaying it in your digital museum or something. But that's a
exactly.
good use for it, and I'm sure there's people who or would want this. I remember when I used to play game
Mm-hmm.
back in the days, I would do anything to get a cheat code, right? So if whatever item you get on a game can give you a leg up on advantage to dominate
Mm-hmm.
everything, That is
Yep.
definitely something that is worth, and people could buy it. And I see a future for that. That's a good point, man. So what you're saying is you're playing, you earning a skill, a rare skill. You could put that skill on an NFT, sell it, and
Mm-hmm.
then earn from the sales, from the profit of that skill.
Yes.
So you
Yes.
made money out of just sweat equity, basically, from
Yes.
pushing those
Yep.
buttons.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. That's good. I thank you, man. That's what I'm saying, guys. Sometimes, guys, you need to learn from the guys that are doing it themselves. As a guy, I work as in tech. I have no time for gaming these days, and I also invest. Started with YouTube, so yeah, I wouldn't know this, and that's not something you would capture if unless you were doing it. But now that you've done it, I'm sure
Mm-hmm.
when you see an opportunity in the crypto market that offers the same, that facilitate this, that
Mm-hmm.
automatically becomes in your radar as a great investment. So thank you for sharing that and making it easier for us to understand.
No problem. I want to go more in depth with it. How I'm gonna tell you this story. I heard about there was this guy. He used to work a 9 to 5 job, and he had ended up losing his job, I guess, due to the pandemic or whatever. And so he got into crypto gaming. Once he started playing cryptocurrency video games, and I think he got into Axie Infinity, and he was starting to make more money off the crypto video game than he was at his 9 to 5. So he was able to sustain himself. So if you can find these crypto video games that you can get into, and you'll be able to make some money off of them, and that's how you'll be able to take care of yourself. That's where I think everything is headed towards. And
Wow, and it was all the same logic of having the
mm-hmm,
game, creating an
mm-hmm.
NFT, selling it. Like, is there like a market within that game where you could sell it?
Uh, yes, they're gonna set up different games. They're gonna try to set up their own like little markets, digital into the metaverse. That's how they're gonna set up the little markets where people could come in, they can trade, exchange, and then they can make their money as they play in the game and grow and learn. And then they could take that money, they could probably throw into a different game. You know what I mean? Like, let's say you're playing a game, you've been playing this game for like 5 years or something like that. You beat the whole game, you're bored. You sell all your stuff out of there. You could take all those games to a whole nother game and then start it up again, And
Mm.
then like there's even because I've recently heard about something else, how sometimes you might be able to, I guess, buy, like I heard that some people they're able to buy a t-shirt inside the game and they might be able to get it in real life. Like it gets sent to their house or something like that.
Wow,
So I
they're
think
going serious.
hmm
Wow, wow,
now
wow.
to be able to invest into these crypto video games, like I've learned that there's two sides to crypto. There's the centralized and then there's the decentralized
Yeah, yeah.
networks. So you got to get on the decentralized network to find the up and coming crypto video games before they're out to the public. So like if it gets on crypto.com or if it gets on Coinbase, then you're late. You know what I mean? You want to get in
Mm.
there before that.
Yeah,
So this
and that's where the risk comes in because we in those DeFi, it is not regulated. Crypto in general is
mm-hmm,
not regulated, but at least the centralized cryptos, I guess you could say they are companies, right? So they're bound by
mm-hmm,
some level of regulation in the business company. Whereas DeFi, it could be anyone, it could be me, it could
right.
also be a real project. But if you do your due diligence, you research into it, you look into the community vision, look at what they're saying and look at what they're doing and
Right.
match if it's something that matches, then go for it. And yes, and I think gaming cryptos are definitely a one way because I know gaming is a doorway to crypto. That's where the demand is huge. We've made a podcast on the metaverse already, so go check it out. But let me ask you this, Soul Shader. um what are like the top three gaming cryptos that you're looking into?
Oh man. Bruh, man. I've seen so many crypto different video games, but the three that I like the most, I think is probably gonna have the most potential. I'm starting out from the bottom first. So for coming in third place, I would say it's Polychain Monsters. So ticker symbol PMON. And so you know how Pokemon was.
Wait. Let
And
me
this
let
is
me let me let me look at that while I'm on coin market cap here. So P what?
PMON, Polychain Monsters.
PMON. Oh, like Pokemon.
hmm
Yeah, yeah. Sorry. Let me tell me about it.
So that's pretty much gonna be the Pokemon of the crypto world. So
Really?
everything that we was doing with Pokemon, that's how it's gonna be with crypto, except it's gonna be with NFTs. You're gonna be able to collect a rare Pokemon. and you get to design it, you get to train it, and then the more rare that it is, you can sell it for more money.
You get to train your NFT.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you get to train it, and they're gonna have it in an open world, so you'll be able to run into other players in the open world and battle them, just like it's like just kind of like from the show. That's how it's gonna
Oh,
be.
so like you mean the monsters, kind of like a Pokemon, would have been an
Yeah.
NFT, and
Mm-hmm.
then oh man, that is interesting.
Yep.
That is interesting.
And they're coming out with the battle with the Pokemon Arena. So when
What?
you
So
get to
it's
battle,
basically Pokemon, but
yeah,
it's not using the name Pokemon.
exactly, yeah.
Sheesh. So let me ask you this: is there like what is the adoption like about it? Like do you see people are download? Is it an app you download? Is it like what is it? Like how many people are invested in this?
Um, I'm not sure how many people are invested in it yet, but right there, it shows the current price value is at $16.
Yeah.
So I believe it's gonna pass Axie Infinity for sure. It's going to pass Axie Infinity, and it's
Market cap
gonna.
is market cap is at 56 million. So that when I see this, the market cap 56 million, there's two things that I see. First thing is a good news is that means it's early and we're not late.
Mm-hmm. Right,
That's the
you're
first
not.
thing I see. The second thing I
Mm-hmm.
see, it's also the risk factor. So, kind of like the way I see it is, if it's 1 million, very risky. If it's less than 1 million, super super risky. If it's in a 10 million and up, risky. If it's 100 million up, and then if it's a billion, it's getting there, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's the way I see it. So 56, it's still we still have some room. What I would like to know is the adoption, because it's one thing to have a product, it's
Mm-hmm.
one thing to have a crypto, it's another thing to have a product. The crypto might do well, but if the product doesn't do well, then the value doesn't stay long term, right?
True.
Because the real
True.
value comes from the community, and if the
Right.
community and the community, there will be they will love basically using the not just investing in it but also using it. So
Right.
let me see, let's do some research live so that maybe you guys can see how I do my um, kind of like a rough version of a due diligence. But so far you got my attention, because I know how Pokemon was popular. The
Mm-hmm.
whole idea, imagine Pokemon company buys this crypto or something. That was so. Is it like a DeFi crypto, or like what would you say?
I would say it's on the Polka Dot network. That's how they have it built up on that network.
Oh, okay.
And I would believe it's a
Okay, yeah, that and it's yeah, it's Polkadot. We're very familiar with it, so that tells me it's going to be able to scale easy. Because if it
mm-hmm.
was done in the Ethereum network, then it would have been very hard to scale. And
Right.
a game like that, you will need to be able to scale it, so you can get it on KuCoin. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely be looking into that because I do have an account in KuCoin. So yeah, it is a DeFi crypto. You can get
Mm-hmm.
it on DeFi um, exchange as well, Uniswap,
Uniswap. Yep.
Pancake Swap. So yeah, it's definitely a DeFi crypto. So guys, you have a DeFi crypto, you have a game crypto based on a very popular show. It has a lot of history. The only thing and I like the ticker because it's basically Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
But the name itself is Polychain. I wish it was closer to Pokemon. That would have
I think they
definitely made it go
changed
more
it.
viral. I like the market cap. It's it's enough to tell me there is a trend.
Mm-hmm.
Not enough to tell me it's safe, but it's the risky aspect, that it's the higher the risk, the higher the reward, right? So remember
Mm-hmm.
that. So all you have to do is make sure the community is legit. I see, they're active on Twitter. You know, they're active on Twitter. The last post was yesterday with 100K subs. Engagement, for 100K, the engagement is low. So these are the thought process I go to,
Mm-hmm.
to see if it's a good or bad investment for me. I would like to see higher numbers in that, but it's
Mm-hmm.
very hard to get engagement in Twitter. very hard. So
Yeah,
don't you
yeah,
can't be too hard on Twitter for that. So and still very good amount of conversation, good amount of retweet. Okay, so I'll definitely look into it deeper, man. I will tell you this much. I like what I hear, man. I like what I hear. So you is that when you say it's your top three? Is that your third biggest
yeah,
position?
yeah. I would say that's the third. That's the one that I'm gonna go in actually today. Actually, later today. I'm just been waiting for my money to come in. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go all in on that one, man. Like that one's it, man. I see it. Like I see kids using that. I can see kids playing that all day.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, man. Of course. Yeah, that's the other thing I would like to know. Like, how do you play it?
Now that I'm not sure about yet
Yeah.
because like I think they're still working on it.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you mean. Yeah, it's so okay. There's still a lot of potential. Open
Mm-hmm.
booster. I'm definitely going to have to check it out. Like that's something I would do. I would like try to download it if I can, or read,
Mm-hmm.
check out their community to see where they are in the progression. I wanna see what they're saying and see what they're doing. That's a simple thing that I do to keep myself away from like scams, but also
Right.
find opportunities and to know how deep I should go in it. But
Mm-hmm.
as a gaming idea alone, the idea is strong, man. The idea is
Mm-hmm.
strong. I'll give you that. The idea, I like that. But to me, there's more work to be done on the community part for me to feel more comfortable about investing. But if we're talking about throwing $100 in, I definitely for me. But my question is it worth for me to put $1,000? So for that, I will have to make deeper research. I'll have to make deeper research on the community, find and try to see if there is a Telegram group or Discord. Talk to some people and see, but I'll put it on the radar as well, man. And I'll let you guys know on the Discord if I end up buying and how much I end up buy it at or something. But thank you for sharing that, man. This is
No problem.
you have to be a gamer to be finding this.
Yeah, I finally figured out how to invest into it because I was looking for how do you invest into this, and it's because you got to get on the decentralized blockchain. That's why. That's
Yeah,
why I
yeah,
wasn't
you
able to
gotta get
find
it
it.
on Pancake Swap.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I bought SafeMoon before everyone else. It was available on Pancake Swap, so you could get it there. But if you can make an account on KuCoin, I think yeah, that's a safe man. You trust me, you want to make an account on KuCoin because they have one crypto that is a must-have. So I'll tell you at the end. But make an account on KuCoin, and if you have an account on KuCoin, you could buy it with USDT.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you can transfer your money. What I do normally is I transfer my Bitcoin to my Bitcoin account on KuCoin, and then from there I exchange it to USDT if the pair is USDT. If sometimes they have PMON, they may have PMON slash BTC. So if they do have that, then I won't need to sell it to USDT. I can just buy it straight with my BTC. But that's how you use this website. You basically look at the market wherever they sell it, and then look at the pairs available, and then you just make sure you have. So it basically means if you have USDT, you can buy PMON, and then if you have PMON, you can sell it into USDT. So it's a simple way of seeing it, and they rate it by volume. So the first one is this KuCoin platform has the highest volume out of basically everything here. But yeah, that's how you can get it. If not, you can go get it in one of these platforms. Definitely recommend Pancake Swap over Uniswap, but that's my view on it. But yeah, man, if you're definitely interested in it, that's how you get it. And trust me, you want to make an account on KuCoin. But I'll leave that page open and I'll check it out later today.
Awesome.
All right, let's go for your top two.
Okay, so coming in second place, I'll have to say is Network. So
Network.
ticker symbol NTVRK.
All right, all right. Let's see what you got. Let's see what it is. So tell us a little bit about it. What do you like
It,
about it?
it kind of reminds me of Ready Player One. It reminds
Really?
me of that. It reminds me of that. It's kind of like it's open world. Like But what really made this game stick out is the fact that you could build your game. You can build your own game inside the game.
Sorry, sorry,
That's why,
sorry. NTVRK, right?
yeah, NTVRK. Yes.
You, really? You can build
Mhm.
the game within the game.
Mhm.
Hmm. Interesting. These are interesting concepts, man. I won't lie, man. I won't lie. Man, where do you find these? Sheesh.
Man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Let me recap. So what you're saying is, it reminds you of a Ready Player One. You can
Mhm.
build a game in the game. What do you mean you can build a game within the game like
So
that?
like you basically can customize your own. You get to have your own world, and you get to build like your own like how I like ever since I've been growing up, I've always wanted to build my own game, but I never understood how to do it because there's lots of technical stuff you have to know how to do in coding, all this other stuff. Well, with this game, they was able to make it to where it's super simplified that a person doesn't need to have no technical skills, and it's kind of like a grab and drop type of system, and you can just set it up and you can test it out to see how it works, and it's a fun process. Like just from the video footage that I saw, and you can invite your friends and you can make money, and it's like I see it has a lot of potential in it. You can use it to for learning possibly
Hmm. Interesting.
education. You know.
Ooh, all right. Let's dive deeper into this, guys. Let's dive deeper. Crypto. So, shout out to Soul Shader Club, Soul Shader Crypto, guys. Go find out his YouTube channel. Here it is again. Soul Shader Crypto Life. Soul Shader Crypto Life. Go find out his channel. Make sure you subscribe. He's probably going to give more knowledge like that. And guys, I think again, make sure you hit the like button because this guy is sharing value here. He's sharing value and type of comment as well. But let's look into it. Let's look into it. All right. So first thing I see, I like this better than if we're looking at market cap alone, right? I'm not talking about anything else. Market cap alone, yeah, I'm more comfortable with that. We see this is a good entry point. No, dude, I'm being honest with you. What I like to do is I like to get it just around the 100 million and then ride it
Right.
all the way to several billion, right?
Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's how that's
Mhm.
but it won't 100x, but it could 10x. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So that's how
Mhm.
you calculate that. You basically calculate, you're looking at the market cap, and you're like, if this project would be successful, what would be its value? Considering that there are cryptos easy that are in the 10 billion dollar range, 100 million to 10 billion is not that much of a leap, right? But let's just say to be safe, 1 billion. So if you would invest it now and it would get to 1.3 billion, that's a 10x, right? So that's how I see it. And 1 billion for a gaming crypto is is lowballing it, right? If it's successful. Now, on the other thing I like, I'm gonna tell you what I like. Um, I also like the number of this circulating supply right here.
Mhm.
That's what I like. I like this. There's not much. There's not much. You see what I'm saying? So that means
Mhm.
whenever there is a large purchase, it's really going to create a spark, like a spike. Like even though the price is $4, a large purchase can bring it to $14, $20 easy.
Mhm.
Like normally you would see like the meme coins, they're in the billions, right? They were like trillions, quadrillions,
Mhm.
like quadrillion point Shibas. But this one is man, this is not much, man. 31 million. There's only 21 million Bitcoin,
Mhm.
right?
Right.
There's only
Mhm.
21 million Bitcoin. So people are buying it a lot. The demand is big, and you see the Bitcoin price is 60,000. So now there
Mhm.
is 31 million of these cryptocurrencies at $4. So if the demand gets anywhere like a third or not a tenth of what the Bitcoin is, then you can see that the price will skyrocket, right?
Right.
So
Right.
all right, man. Before you had my curiosity, now you have my attention, man. I'm gonna tell you something else I noticed very quickly. Again, I haven't done any deep research into it. I'm just looking at it and from an eye perspective, seeing if it's something that I would want to invest in, if it's worth my attention. Okay, so the curve is already booming already, and I bet. Look at this, guys. This is 27th of October. It was at $2. It spiked all the way to $5, and now it's going down again at $4. What happened around that time?
That's when I'm pretty sure that's when Mark Zuckerberg announced the metaverse, and that took
Exactly.
all the metaverse cryptos to spike up
So
instantly.
what does that tell you?
That
This
tells
is
me,
a metaverse crypto.
exactly.
Guys, what did I tell you guys? If you want to find good deals, you look at the big dog in a sector. When they do
hmm
something, put yourself in the lower dogs. Wait for the big
hmm
dog to do something. And when the big dog does something, the lower dogs will react just like the big dogs. Now, if you look at the pattern of most metaverse projects, you will see around that time the same spike and the same drop. That's how you play the game, guys. You find a big dog. You can, me, honestly, a lot of my big money, I'm talking about my metaverse crypto, my metaverse portfolio. A lot of that portfolio is on the kind of like the blue chip metaverse, which is
Right.
Mana, Sand. But I have a little bit of money left waiting for opportunities like this. And honestly, from an investment perspective, although I like the idea from the first one you showed me earlier, I like that you put it second place. From an investment perspective, I like this a lot better. So now the next work I'm going to do is I'm going to check their community. Oh, I like that they're on Reddit,
And they're on
and
Discord.
so I'm going to have to make more research on that part to see. Hmm, I want to see this higher. This number is higher, man. That would make me feel a lot better. So I'm going to have to see. But you see, they may have 60K, and then they might have a more active community versus someone who
hmm
has 100K and has less of an active community. So don't let
hmm
the numbers fool you. It's all about engagement. I told you guys, the real game of the business. It's the real game. It's the engagement part. The engagement is the currency of social media, not numbers. All right. So the engagement can show themselves as number of comments, retweets, likes, all that can form a picture. So yes, guys, I'll be looking into that deeply, definitely. And I like what you're saying. So one of the things you can do is you look at the white paper. So I won't be doing that here, but to look at the white paper, understand what they're saying, and then look at the what they're doing and understand where they're going from there. Something else that caught my attention again. Man, this crypto keeps getting my attention. And again, did you tell me anything about this crypto before?
Mm-mm.
Exactly, right. I'm just learning with this crypto, just like you guys are learning about it now. And look at this. Look at this staking. Oh my, oh my. Look at them. Look at them numbers.
hmm
20%, 40%, right? And 60%. So anyway, guys, let's we're running out of time. I want to hear what he has to say for, but I will be putting this in my notes and definitely look into it. Oh man, they're filled. Oh man. So I gotta understand what's going on with the staking part. So but this is interesting. This is interesting. All right, man. All right. Let me before you had my curiosity, now you have my attention. So what is your first, man? What is your first? You got some
Okay.
gold nuggets for us.
Okay. So for the last one, it's gonna be Illuvium. Ticker symbol ILV. You're gonna like
It,
that one. You're gonna love that one.
really,
hmm
really. All right, let's see what you got, man. Let's see what you got. So tell us a little bit about the Illuvian, you say.
Alluvium, man. This
Sorry,
is kind of like
just quickly, the page is loading up. What was the sticker again?
it's ticker symbol ILV, Alluvium.
ALV. I like
Mm-hmm.
it. It's simple already. Keep carry
Mm-hmm.
on.
So it's like it kind of reminds me of League of Legends. It's kind of like League of Legends meets Pokemon, and it has sci-fi in the mix of it, and it's like an open world. So like I saw the battle system, how it was like you could be a player, you could have a weapon, you could have a gun, you could have a sword, and you could have some monsters that are like, I guess, your pets or whatever, and you're challenging the enemy opponent, and you're just battling each other.
Hmm. So
Mm-hmm.
it's really a mix of gaming and metaverse again. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds that way.
And you can
Hmm.
fly, and you're able to make money in the game. I guess you're gonna be able to collect these monsters, and that's how you're probably gonna make the money, probably off of collecting the monsters.
Let me ask you this: for those who may not know what League of Legends is, like, if you had to describe League of Legends, tell us a little bit about it. What would you say?
It's basically like a RPG, and you basically have to take down towers. You have to take down towers inside the game, and to beat the enemy side. You're usually in like two teams. You got like a blue team and a red team, I believe, and then you're supposed to you're supposed to destroy the tower of the enemy to win.
And when you say RPG, it's kind of like a real person view, right? Like it's
Mm-hmm.
okay, okay, okay.
Like
Just to
like
make sure that we may have.
like
I don't think we have a lot of gamers here, but hey,
well,
you guys
actually,
need
third
to
person
educate
view.
yourself, man. If you want to make money, man, one of the trend will be gaming, and that will last a the entire decades, definitely. So educate yourself about gaming. You don't necessarily have to be a real obsessed with gaming, but at least understand the terms, understand the opportunities out there. And yes, that's why we're inviting people like Soul Shader here. He's a gamer. He's younger. He understands this better than us. And then yes, we can learn from everyone. Learn from everyone, guys. So yeah, thank you for explaining that to us, Soul
No
Shader.
problem.
All right, so Eluvian. All right, let's uh, let's look into this, guys. Let's look into this. There are some interesting things. I mean, I just look at it quickly, you know. I just look at it quickly, but let me share the screen to you guys. But hey, before I share the screen, guys, hit the like button. Hit the like button, guys. We're
Hit
working
the
hard
like
for you guys,
button.
and then we only have a couple minutes left. But don't worry, I'm respectful of your time. We'll be leaving soon. But thank you for sharing the third, which is this is your number one pick,
Yes.
number one pick. So if all the cryptos were NBA players, if all of them were NBA players, and then you had to choose only three to make your teams to get to the championship and win many rings, you would have chose those three, and this one would have been your first player. It
Yes.
Louvian. Woo! Look at the price.
Yeah.
Woo-wee. This is one expensive kid. Let me tell
Look
you
at the
something.
time.
Let me tell you something that I don't like about prices like this. All right. When the price is high, this high, for you to make 100% of your money, then you would have to make what, almost 3,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
That this is just doubling your money. This is just 1x or 2x, sorry. This is not like me. I like to think of 10x, right? So that means if I want a 10x, the price would have to go $10,000. But
Mm-hmm.
but look at this, guys. Look at the numbers. Look at the numbers. Less than a million. So this is very exclusive, guys. Less than a million people can own one of them. That is interesting. And whenever I see exclusivity, guys, I love it. I love to, I bought Shiba created another coin called Leash. There's only 100,000 in it. I bought one and I'm never selling it. I don't care if it drops to zero or if it drops to 100,000. I'm never selling it. Why? Because it's exclusive. Only 100,000 people in the world can own it. Right. So that's something that's definitely going to get my attention. The other thing I noticed, out of all the ones you notice, market cap is near the $1 billion. This is very important, guys. Very important. Near $1 billion market cap. So right there, and this crypto is on rank 200. So we're not talking about a lot of risk now. The risk level in this one is lower than the last two that we saw, and there
Mm-hmm.
is still some room to grow because projects like that are not worth 1 billion. They're worth 1 billion now because no one really knows about them.
Right.
And I bet you, look, I bet you it started booming around the same time. Well, it
Mm-hmm.
started booming before, but that spike that we're seeing is around the same time. So that tells you it's a metaverse play. It is a
Mm-hmm.
gaming play, and the gaming are driving the force for the metaverse. The money from the metaverse, the money that will fund the metaverse will come from gaming. So, in very interested, very important to keep that in mind. So, what more can you tell us about this crypto? Like, is there like, for example, where is it a DeFi? Do you know if it was done on a different market? Like,
Um, I was able to figure out that in order to get it, you have to get it off 1inch, and you have to exchange it for Ethereum.
mm,
That's how you're able to get it, and you have to get it off the decentralized exchanges because you won't find it on the main exchanges. Like all these, you're not gonna find on the main exchanges.
yeah, yeah. Like I'm looking at it right now, and well, it seems that Binance has it, but
Mm-hmm.
Sushi Swap. Oh, confidence. Okay, they're not showing it. Okay, it's available on Sushi Swap. That's good. That means you can get it on DeFi as well. What I'm afraid of, what I'm afraid of, and that's one thing I'm going to check. You said the other one was done on this Polkadot network.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid this one will be done on the Ethereum network.
Mm.
That's what I'm afraid of. And I don't know, but I'm going to make that research because if I and again, let's say that it was done on the Ethereum network, it doesn't mean that it's a bad project. It just means
Right.
that it might do well for this bull run, but eventually as they scale, they may have a problem where it's going to limit the amount of people that can be on board and affect the experience for the players. And
Mm.
unless Ethereum fix that problem, they're talking about um, partnering with polygons. Polygon is to help them scale basically because that is a huge problem with Ethereum. And the problem with Ethereum is whenever a big project like that becomes successful, it clogs all the other projects that are on Ethereum because the gas fees are higher.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
Right.
so
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed earlier this year around April, May, the gas fees were a lot. But why? Because there was so many projects on the Ethereum that were booming. That was like buying. So many people were buying, so that basically slowed down the transaction in a lot of projects. Mana has this problem as well. Mana is done Decentraland. It's one of the probably biggest metaverse cryptos out there. It is done on
Mm-hmm.
the Ethereum projects, and when you try to play it on your computer, man, I don't know, man. It is. I'm debating if it's my computer or is it like the Ethereum network, but I
I
don't
know,
know,
right?
man. You can tell there is like it's buggy, it's laggy, it's so yeah, yeah. That's something that I will have to confirm on that one. That's my so far. It's my only big sense. Again, I love this. I love the market cap. Put it on the website. Beautiful website. Oof. Mm. Mm. All right.
Spicy.
Well, again, guys, it does not mean that it won't blow up. It just means that hey, if you want to hold it for 10 years, you might want to hold it for three, and see how it goes, how Ethereum develops. But the buzz of that game could create so much community and fun in it that people might want to that it might incite the gamers to either move to a different platform, and if they do that, Polkadot and Solana are making it easier for other projects to move from Ethereum to Cardano, for example. Cardano is perfect for
Mm-hmm.
that. So if they would move to another platform, we're good, right? And that's not too
Mm-hmm.
much. I mean, it's a lot of work, but it's not impossible. So that is one way to solve the problem that I mentioned. But it is something to keep in mind, right? But will that stop me from investing in it? Absolutely not. So yeah, man, RPG game. The other things, games like that, guys, you need to understand the community a lot. You need to understand how interested, how deep, or obsessed the community is. Are they telling all their friends about that game? So these projects, so far, you showed me two of them. I mean, yeah, three of them basically. That I am going to have to basically pretend that I'm a gamer and go on on the discords and reddits and telegram if they have it, and learn from it, man. That's how you do research and your due diligence. And if you see the trend is going high and there's a potential for it, you go deep on projects like
Hmm.
that, because they can be very it can be very rewarding. So thank you, Soul Shader Crypto, for your picks. I love your picks. I love the way you're thinking, and yeah, man, you gave us a lot to think about today.
No problem, man. Like that's all it takes. You just got to get in there, learn, take the L's, and eventually you'll get there and you'll find the gems. It's just a learning process. It just takes time. You eventually get there.
Yeah, absolutely. Me, I honestly, I told you about that before, but you should look into it, man. VRA.
VRA.
Yeah, man, you gotta look into that. VRA crypto. Let's look at it very quickly, because I'll be look into that, man. The reason why I love this, because this project is basically all in one.
Really?
VRA, they have a patent on proof of view. All right. So imagine YouTube are showing people ad, but people are not watching the ad, and then company has to pay them, right? So company is like, why am I
Hmm.
paying you if no one's watching my ad? So VRA
Right.
come up with a system that says, hey, uh, I'll prove you that that person watched the ad, right? So unique concept. And not only that, they're also into gaming, and they have been put it recently on the metaverse industry. So it's gaming, metaverse, and it's also facilitating access to viewing content for companies out there. And they're staking, man. You can stake them very
Wow.
easy. This is the easiest crypto I ever stake. You can stake them
Really?
right now for 25%,
Dang,
25.5%
25%.
25.5% APY. And this is my value to you. You shared a lot of good value to me. It's something that I can look into. So I wanted to share that with you as well.
Thank you,
Definitely,
man.
I'm invested in VRA since
Wow.
early this year, when it was 1 cent. And now it's like 7 cents. I'm like basically a 7x my money already. And as I was doing this 7x, I collected almost 50,000, actually more than 50,000 VRA in reward. It pays
Wow.
me every day. So look
Dang.
into it, man. If there is a dip, you buy it. This company, I believe this company can easily reach $10 per VRA. So even at 7 cents, 10 cents, it's an undervalue. And
Yeah.
this is a long play. Like you buy it, you hold it for minimum 10 years. But trust me, man, this company is going to be good. It's a nice project, and they are the easiest to stake. Next year they might reduce their staking rewards, but it might be 15% instead of 25. Last year it
Right.
was 36%. So when I
Dang.
invested in it, it was actually 36%, and then it switched to 25%. Imagine 36.5% staking, you get 1% per day. Per day. So every day
Wow.
you get 1% of VRA in your, if you have 100, if you
I know,
have a
right?
hundred
Yeah.
thousand, you get 1% of that every day. So
Dang.
yeah, man, look into this, because they're both gaming. They're planning on addressing the metaverse, and they have a product right now that is a huge demand from companies like YouTube, Facebook. So look into it, man. And then if you're watching in the
Okay.
chat, definitely look into it as well. Good. Good, good. Yeah, I'm happy. I'm surprised you didn't hear about this company, man,
Yeah,
because
I did not
man,
hear about that.
oh man, this company, bro. When I heard about it, I was like, oh, no. And yes, I'm surprised there's many people who did not. But if you're on my Discord, you have heard about this, especially the members, the exclusive members of my group. As soon as I found out about this company, I made several streams talking about it. The other one I'm watching, and this is just coins that I'm watching quickly. I haven't fully done all my research into it, but this is on my radar. It's this coin right here. It's not necessarily a gaming crypto. It's not a metaverse crypto, but it can be a metaverse crypto, and it could be also utility coin that can be used for the purpose of the metaverse and gaming. But XYO network,
X
I'm
Y.
looking into it, man. Geospatial blockchain for all. So these are the things that platforms can use, like developers can use to create the metaverse, right? So I'm kind of like looking for things like that to see, kind of like, think of it as this way: instead of running for the gold mine, I try to run for the shelf, because if I was selling the shelf to the gold miners, then I would be rich without even digging any gold, right? So that's the same logic that I'm approaching with the metaverse, and I'm trying to look for projects. So far, I came up with this, and then I'm like, you know what? I'll be looking into it. So this weekend, I'll be doing a lot more research, but this is more for technical, because I'm kind of like, I work in tech. I'm a geek. I understand the computer world, so I'll be looking into it. But XYO network, the ticker, I believe it's XYO. So look into that, guys. I'm looking into it as well. Maybe you can help me research if you're on the Discord. We can kind of like throw out some questions out there. But yes, guys, look into it. You can find it on Coin Market Cap, and then from there you'll find the website. You'll find the white paper. That's usually if you want to start looking into cryptos, guys. That's definitely one of the ways. But look, it's rank 141. I like this range because it shows me that there's a lot of interest. It shows me there is value in the market. It's not too risky, and the reward is still high, because by the time this moves from rank 150 to 50, for example, then that can blow up like crazy. So a fair price for this could one day reach $1. You never know, and that is something that I'm looking into, because the things like this could blow up when there is more demands for gaming, more demands for metaverse. People will need more resources to create this. And again, not necessarily always the game, the gold. I look at the shelf as well and how to make my money there. So yeah, that's I wanted to share these two with you guys, with you as well. And the last one I was gonna share is T Fuel, but I'm sure you know that already.
T
T
Fuel. Oh
Fuel, if
yeah.
you know it, look into it. You can stake T Fuel, uh, and you can stake T Fuel with a platform called G Pool,
G Pool. Okay.
gpool.io. You can use that platform. There you go. You can stake Tether in it. You can stick T fuel in it, and then you can stick
Wow.
persistence in it. Like if you buy persistence, you can earn 35% APR. So some good nuggets there. We'll be talking a lot more about that on the next podcast Sunday. But G Pool, I've currently stick T fuel in it, and every hour I get paid, man. So and so yeah, look into it, guys. Look into it. That is my value to you guys. I know you knew Teda. You know Teda, right? Soul Shader.
Yes.
I've
Yes.
seen you make videos about it. But T Fuel is basically the same. It's from the same. It's a utility coin from Teda, so you can make some money in it as well. All
Awesome.
right.
Ah, sorry. My
Yeah,
phone's
so
about to
I know
die.
you have to go, but I wanted to throw that in there very quick so that you can see it. And I know you provide your best tweet, so I wanted to give you tweet as well. All right. All right. I think we have a yeah. I think we lost Soul Shader for a moment, but yes, yeah, he had to. He told me he had to go at basically 6 p.m. anyway. So I think that's probably what he has ready, and I wanted to throw some nuggets here and there, because you always want to give value, guys. If someone gives you value, it's not just about taking and not giving anything. So if you can give as well, and as you heard, he started investing earlier this year, and then as a gamer basically, and he understand the trend. He put a lot of focus on gaming, and I wanted to invited him to share with you guys, because you may not have considered this part, and there's a lot of opportunities to in this aspect as well. So I'm happy that we had him for a while to talk about gamings and share some value about it. But with that said, guys, yes, I'll connect with them later. But I think we probably lost them for the stream. But guys, make sure you go check out his channel, guys. The support his work. There's the channel. I'll put it up again. Soul Shader Crypto. There you go. Soul Shader Crypto. You'll have the link in the description as well, so that make it very easy for you to find. And yes, guys, support him, and stay connected with him. And I'll maybe I might invite him again some other time. We can talk about different things about the crypto world. But yeah, I really was looking forward to this stream because you need to learn from everyone, guys. Learn from everyone, and don't underestimate the crypto. It's not because it's a meme coin that it can't make you money. I know that the hard way. Lost the chance to make 400,000. And then also, guys, gaming cryptos. Don't underestimate gaming. It's not just a kid thing anymore. There's an entire business around it. It's a booming business. Man, now it seems that there's a lot of young men. They're not going out anymore. They're not trying to flirt with girls anymore. They're just staying home. And what are they doing? They're just out there, and I see Soul Shitter coming in again. But yeah, men are not having fun anymore. So they're out there and basically play games. So the metaverse will be deep for them, and then they will uh, they will be able to. And let me know when you're ready. You can give me a thumbs up, Soul Shader, when you're ready. And then we're pretty much done. If you want to say one last words before you go, you can come up and just show me your thumbs up, and I'll put you when the camera is ready. I'll put you up. But yeah, perfect, perfect. All right, let's put him up. Let's put him up. So very quickly, Soul Shader, do you have any last words for our audience before we go?
Yeah, just get into the decentralized network. That's where you're gonna find all these good gems in the crypto that are up and coming. So make sure you download Trust Wallet off the Google Play Store, because that's where you're gonna find it. And you can get on the D apps. That's where you can find the decentralized exchanges, and you can exchange your buying.
I think I lost him. But yeah, again, that's a good point right there. DeFi, if you want to buy DeFi, and there's a
Answer
lot
your
of crypto. Oh, sorry. I think I lost him. So exactly, that's what happened when you do it live, guys. I think we lost you for a moment, but last thing we got from what you're saying, Soul Shader, it's basically buy DeFi, download Trust Wallet.
Yes. Download
Any
Trust Wallet.
any
Use the
other
D
personal
apps.
information?
And don't be scared to invest. You got time. You don't have a lot of time. Like, you have to, time is limited while you're young. So if you're young, you should be investing as much as you can. You got to treat it as if it's like you're trying to collect rainwater. You got to put out a whole bunch of thimbles, collect the water.
Ah, he was cooking. He was cooking. I lost him. But anyway, we'll connect later, Soul Shader. If you're still listening, we'll stay
And some of them
connected.
gonna use.
Oh, oh, sorry. But it's okay, Soul Shader. We'll connect later. And then we'll stay there. But he was cooking, guys. He was cooking. But I agree with him, and I'll finish what he was trying to say. It's basically we'll connect later, Shader. I know you have to go, and it's almost 3:30. It's basically past 3:30. But basically, what he was saying, guys, is very important. If you're young, definitely connect and go from there. Oh, I see him again. Maybe we can have one last words. But I wanted him to say it, guys. He's young. You will connect with him better.
Okay, yeah, invest as much as you can, man. Like, while you're young, you got time. Like, just
Oh man, he was cooking again. But sorry, guys. But yeah, it's I think he moved. He changed his setup. It won't work. But basically, what he was saying is and we'll connect later, Soul Shader. Don't worry about it. It's okay. We'll connect later. But yes, guys, he was saying it. He was saying basically, if you're young, you invest early. Don't be afraid. If you have mistake, if you do some mistakes, will you can correct, fix yourself back up, right? You're still young. If you're probably going to be working, so if you lose some money because you're risky, don't worry about it. Still working, you're gonna learn from it and apply it again. What you should not do, you should not invest all your saving into one risky project. Try to diversify just a little bit. I'm very careful about the diversification. You should not be invested in 50 cryptos. You should not even be invested in 10 cryptos. That's one of the reasons why I ask him top three. One that's definitely a good way to start. You start with the top three in one sector, and then you understand that sector. You become a master at this sector, and then you're specialist at it. And then you invest in the best thing you know. And if you have, let's say you have $1,000, you put about $330 in most of the cryptos, and these cryptos do well, your percentage of return will be much more versus if you put $50 but you invested it in 20 cryptos, right? If you double your money, you only turn 50 to $100. But if you double your money from $300, that's $600, right? If you 10x that, that 3,000. So that's how you should think about it. Narrow down your best projects, do your due diligence, invest in best cryptos, and then from that moment on, you load up a massive position, and then you go to the next one. You go to the fourth position, you build up that position again, and then next thing you know, you'll have big position in many cryptos. So that's the way to approach it. That's how I approach it, and I want you to think about it this way. Look into the cryptos that he mentioned, guys. These seems to be a good potential. I'll be looking more into them as well. Find me on Discord, so that we can hear my opinion as I get closer to buying them. And then, yes, guys, definitely join the community. Go follow Soul Shader Crypto Club. And thank you again for joining. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but thank you again for from joining me. I'm so happy that we at least had over an hour to speak with him, and he was able to share his picks with us. But with that said, guys, we'll go on the next one, and then we'll meet on the next video. All right, have a good day. Bye.